Hopefully everybody can hear me today. There might be like a hum or a buzz in the background. I had to put my fan on. It's a little warm in here. Sorry, sort of, but if I'm overly warm, this isn't going to go well. So, it's warm enough outside. We don't need it to be extra warm in here. I do not know if we will finish this today. Sorry, I got concerned. I couldn't see the new brush that I bought. It was hiding in amongst them. I was like, where's the new one? Excuse me. No, I put it in here. It is Saturday. It is art day. And we are painting today. Hopefully my head doesn't get in the way here. Hang on. Can we adjust this camera a little bit more? Nope, I want to go the other way. And we go that way just a little. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, so we have our last square remaining here. And this is our chicken. I would have done like drumsticks if I could have painted them. But instead, we are going with some eggies, and hopefully we'll be able to get these guys filled in without too much fuss. I'm not sure about this chicken because we've always painted roosters. We have not painted chickens. So I'm not real sure how exactly I want to go about painting this guy. But I do know we need 2 coats of this color. So we're gonna get started on getting this color in first. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was a Windows update or what. But ever since the other night, when actually I think there was a Windows update right around then, I had recorded, oh goodness, I recorded painting and I had my mic muted for it. And ever since that night, I have been having a hell of a time with my computer not confusing my microphone, which I don't really understand what the heck is going on. Like, it's okay when I have my other I'm in trouble finding my chicken foot. Like, it's okay when I use my wired headphones, but whenever I try to use my wireless ones, ever since the other night, it seems to think my headphones are my microphone, and I'm not entirely sure why, because as far as I know, this pair of headphones does not have a microphone. But even with Discord, I went to go and see what it was using as my microphone, and the sound quality changed on my headphones as soon as I clicked open the voice and video tab. I'm like, what is happening? I don't know, man. Either my headphones are trying to take over the wireless ones, or my microphone's just like, peace, I'm out. I don't know what in the hell is going on. Ah, shit. Well, so much for that first 11 minutes of not cursing. Damn it, YouTube. I've been trying, because I do notice a difference in views if I'm not behaving myself. In that first, what is it, 11, 20 minutes, whatever it is now. Like, I'll have one video where I managed to behave myself in the time frame, and it'll have, like, over 50 views on it. Like, sometimes a great deal more than that. And then ones where I haven't behaved myself, it's like 2. If that. Like, really? Like, I'm not even monetized over there. Like, what the hell? I can understand it if I was monetized. And you're like, no, we don't want to put the ad dollars on this. Okay, fine. But I'm not monetized over there. I've been trying. We don't have the subscriber count over there yet. Which is kind of hilarious, considering how old the channel is. Can't they just grandfather me in? I mean, you know, the channel's been around forever. I think it's over 11 years old. Oh well, what can you do? I certainly have the video requirement on there. I was considering starting a second channel over there from scratch for just our speed art. And splitting the gaming and the art up, but Russell's like, no, there's no point. So we got back into, or we're trying to get back into the oil painting. I have to get used to new brushes, because these aren't the same brushes I had the last time. I forgot, we should have probably started on our edges here. Since they're the most awkward part. Of all of this. So the first attempt back at oil painting didn't go swimmingly. I was very nervous. And I didn't have any liquid clear. I'd gotten rid of the liquid clear I had because I didn't think I was going to be doing the oil painting anymore. And then the husband's like, no, you should get back into this. I'm like, really? Because all I did was be nothing but nervous with it. And it's not like we really did anything on our own. We were only following tutorials. I wasn't all that confident with it, but those seemed to be the magnets that were snatched up the fastest, or the oil painted ones, which was really surprising, because it got to the point where I couldn't give those fuckers away on Etsy. So I was really surprised at the interest in them at the farmer's market. Now we have to do 2 coats of this color. This is just pass number 1. And it's okay if our eggies get a little misshapen here, because we can clean that up when we go to put the eggies in. Like, not a big deal. Which is why we're doing our background first. I still think I need to adjust this camera a little bit more. What the hell I did to my arm? Still in focus. I feel like we're not in focus anymore. There we go. That's a bit better. I have this terrible habit of pulling everything to me. when I'm trying to do details on it, so that's why my head ends up in the way half the time. It's pretty toasty outside today. Welcome to summer. Wasn't yesterday like supposed to be the longest daylight day of the year? I'm gonna miss it getting dark later in the evening. I hate it when it gets dark at like 5 o'clock. But then again, I'm not a huge fan of the dark around here. Especially with a bobcat being sighted not that far from here. Really not all that far. And when it gets dark here, it gets dark. There's not very many street lights. It's kind of unnerving how dark it can get around here. Like, we actually got these bright ass bistro lights for our front porch, because even it was just so dark out there, our front porch light just wasn't doing it. And half the people around here don't leave a front porch light on at night, which is also a little surprising. I guess it's just a different area. I don't know, we always had our front porch light on. We wanted to see if somebody was messing around, and we didn't want to give anybody an opportunity to be messing around in the dark. A lit up front porch is not as inviting for somebody up to no good as a dark one is. But around here it's more about the wildlife. So we got 2 sets of these like bistro lights, and it actually stretches down to our carport, which we are kind of happy about because it was always so dark down there. We've got those guys on a timer, so we don't have our front porch light on all the time, because I would have to leave it on all the time, because I would forget to turn it back on, and my mom goes out at all hours before she goes to bed to smoke, so she could be up well before us and it would still be dark out. So the lights on the timer, which are much brighter and make life a lot, sorry, didn't realize I was off camera there, and make life a lot easier to see out there. They just work out better. Now we have them on the timer, so we don't have them running all the time, although now we have the timer running, so I guess it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of another, I suppose. I am a little bit towards me here. Hex our Oh, okay. That makes a little more sense. Okay. I was very confused about the shape of the chicken head. I'm like, is this right? I was painting around an eggy. Painting around the eggy makes a lot more sense for that shape now. I finally got my pool noodle for my keyboard tray. My knee is very thankful. But I'll tell you, he was a bitch to find. Any other time, I'm seeing them all over the place. This year, we're like, oh, Dollar General always has them. Always has them. We'll be a quick run over. I'll have it. We'll be back in like 5 minutes. Nope, they didn't have them. Excuse me, they had one. But it was like in a weird ridgy shape. It had like star-shaped ridges cut into it, like extruded from it. I'm like, what the fuck? Why isn't it just round? And it was $5, and I'm like, no. I'm not spending $5 on something I'm literally cutting a tiny chunk off of if I can help it. I will get pipe insulation before I do this. Although the pipe insulation might have been more. But I was like, no, I'm not paying no $5 for a fucking pool noodle. I know they're cheaper than that. So we stopped off at Dollar Tree and they had them. The normal ones, at least. The normally shaped ones. So I felt really stupid buying the pool noodle for the tiny chunk of it I needed, but I guess I have more now for when I inevitably destroy this chunk of pool noodle. So we are zoomed way in. I forgot to zoom in last week. I do apologize about that. I couldn't remember if I had zoomed in further than what my save zoom was. And I had forgotten that the save zoom is our needle felting zoom. And the other zoom amount I had in my head, the other number, was what we changed our painting to, at least on this size painting, to make it a little bit easier to see. So I hope everybody's having a good Saturday here. We're having a typical Saturday. I'm working on our art stream. Got dinner started being made before we got going here because I wanted pizza tonight. Kind of tired of everything else we had. I was like, I just want simple pizza. That's all I want. My mom hasn't asked what dinner is yet, so she's probably going to be mad when she finds out. She's not as big on pizza as the husband and I are. But she really doesn't want it. I can make her a grilled cheese, I guess. Although, isn't that just pizza without the tomato sauce? So, or a version of pizza without tomato sauce? A calzone, maybe? I can kind of see our chicken shape in there now. Slowly coming to chicken life. I am going to rinse this brush before we start our second coat of this. Just to make life a little bit easier. So far I've only had time to do one of our oil paintings. I feel a little bit bad about that, but timing has not been the greatest. Oh, right. And that quick, I forget to rinse it. Just with the fan going, I don't want to, get too much of this dried all up in here. Alright. Okay, so we are going to work on our side first. This time. So I haven't taken photos of the oil painting yet. It was still wet. And my lights were still glaring off of the wet paint, so I was like, we'll just let this be. So it's in its drying box. Safe from, well, sort of safe from the cats unless they find the box and try to jump on top of it. I don't think there's enough room for them to attempt that. But Cow is definitely a hold my beer kind of cat. When he gets it in his head that he's gonna do something, there is absolutely no stopping him. Spray bottles, squirt guns, the only way you can stop him, even temporarily, is to distract him. And even then, he'll still come back later to finish what he started. Because that's how he rolls. He's always been like that. It would seem. So our new outdoor friend has latched onto us fairly fast, at least latched onto me. Apparently his new human mom, I have no idea where he came from. He's terribly skinny. We can't bring him in. He is not fixed. And we have too many other male cats that do not appreciate the presence of another male cat. Even though our inside guys are fixed, they are not happy about his presence out on the porch, so I don't think we could even attempt to bring him in. We are trying to gain his trust enough where maybe we can call animal control to come and retrieve him, to give him a shot at a home through the pound, although I don't know if the pound is full on cats at the moment. They've had a lot of kittens come in recently that they are trying to get fostered out or adopted. I don't know where they are on slightly older cats. He's very, very, very chatty. He's like a dull frosted orange. He does the frantic kitten echolocation for where's my mother meows whenever he hears us outside. It's like you're playing a game of Marco Polo in the pool. I kind of wanted to change his name to Marco, but we've called him Ollie now. And he kind of looks like an Ollie. I'm not sure what Ollies really look like, but he kind of has the look. Doesn't really look like a Marco. We're not sure if he's just young and latched on to Mimi, which is the other outside female cat that just showed up, or if it's one of her older teenager kittens that is now here. We don't know. She doesn't seem to be terribly angry at his presence, but she certainly doesn't seem all that thrilled with his presence. At the same time. So we're still not really sure where Ollie showed up from. He was just suddenly there. He's very, very skinny. Okay. I feel like this ferrule is loose. It's making like a little snapping noise. Or snapping sensation whenever we are using him. Like he's rocking back and forth. No idea what color this chicken's gonna be. I mean, a lot of chickens are brown, but we just have the brown cow right next door. A lot of chickens are traditionally white. We might go with that. Y'all right? We're gone for a while.
Yeah. I was trying to eat.
Were you successful?
Eventually.
Do I need to go make you something?
I'll go now. No, I'm good enough for now.
Okay. So I'm wondering if the Windows update borked the software on the headphones.
Might have.
Because when I went into Discord, because when I unplugged the mic and plugged it back in, it did the, oh, new audio detected or whatever. And when I clicked on voice and video, the sound in the headphones changed like it did the other day in OBS when I was trying to fix the sound issue. And it didn't fix itself until I re-clicked the snowball. So I don't know what the hell's going on. Rather vexing. I know a way of resetting it, but I'd rather just permanently fix it instead of having to go through this every time. Oh. I wonder if that did it. The past 2 nights when I was using these headphones, I forgot to turn the headphones off before I shut down. Wonder if that fucked something up. Because, you know, with these things, they're so silly sometimes. The slightest out of order thing can just bork the whole chain of command here. Oh, good. That was still wet paint, dingus. Lovely. Oh well, it's just acrylic paint. It will wash off. It's not like we just put our hand in the palette of oil paint. Okay, I'm not sure if I want to do eggies first or chicken first here. That's a good question. I guess it doesn't really matter all that much. I guess. And I'm not too worried about keeping the outer shape of our eggs, you know, 100% pristine, because we're gonna come back over, like, we still have to paint those, so we can fix that. to our liking here when we come back in and start working on those guys. I'm kind of leaning towards the chicken first on this one. I'm not sure why I'm leaning that way, but I am. We will see how things go here. We're almost done with color pass number 2 on this guy. We are getting there. So I'm not doing like raw egg, I'm doing like fried egg. That's why they don't look quite so ovally. It'll come together here. It just felt more fitting to go with like a fried eggy shape when we were plotting this guy out. I don't know if we are streaming Diablo tonight. Husband hasn't been feeling well today, so if we do, we do. If we don't, we don't. That's why I don't have it scheduled. It's just one of those bonus stream kind of things. Kind of depends on how the rest of the day goes. So what, we have one more week of pig medicine?
I'm not entirely sure.
I think she's just gonna have that head tilt.
She might.
Because if 3 weeks of antibiotics haven't fixed it, and she's still eating, happily still eating.
Yeah, like they can have permanent tilt problems because of infections. Like if she's had it for a while, it might be a permanent thing.
Well, we've done all we can. Can't say we didn't try. They're so hard to diagnose. And we don't have, I don't think we have the greatest exotic vet in the area either. So I'm not even sure what the exotic vet here does. Really light gray. I mean, maybe we could paint the chicken the light gray with white highlights. I mean, it's almost white. Come on, paint string. Today, please. I mean, that is pretty gray, though. Let's get some of the white out. Let's try to get some of the white out. And maybe we'll grab a little bit of this rainy day gray too. Okay. All right. So this is our white. We are going to come in here first with to, at the very least, get a base coat down here. Because I'm kind of going every which way with our feathers here at the moment. So this is just more or less about getting some color down. It doesn't look very snappy bright white. And that is because of the brown underneath. So just going to take a little bit more effort here on the chicken. Although pristine white's probably not very realistic. I mean, they're gonna have some kind of dirt on them. So I hope everybody's weekend's going all right. That you found something to do to keep yourselves out of trouble. I am staying out of trouble at the moment. Since we are sitting here painting together. Well, at the very least, I'm painting. Hopefully you are up to something that makes you happy. Oh my. We might have to add that pale gray just so we don't have to do you have a dog? Or do I have a dog? Really, Momo? Oh, it's been about an hour. Alright, give me a minute, you guys. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Alright, never mind. Husband's gonna get him. Let's see what we can do here with our chicken friends. So every time I get up, I push my desk because I'm like pushing my chair back. And it keeps sliding my desk closer and closer to our front door opening clearance. So every time we open the door, the desk gets bumped. It was a very tight clearance to begin with. Mildly frustrating, but if I wanted to be on this side of the room, then that's just the way it goes, although I don't know if I'm gonna have to move back, but I like my little corner over here now. Got the perfect space for all of my yarn. I really don't want to move the desks again. It's such a pain. It's not easy. You have to dismantle all of the equipment and then try to get it functioning. We get it resituated. Which is not fun. I will probably be staying on this side of the room at this point because I've got the camera attached to the wall. Alright, so this is our rainy day. No, this is not. This is pale gray. Excuse me. That's a very thick chicken foot. Mr. Stencil, that doesn't quite look right there. So we've got an eggy shape right up against that foot. So I'm sure that's not helping with our disfigured foot shape here. Okay. So the rest of our chicken here is still pretty wet. Just kind of trying to get a light shadow here on the edge of our chicken guy here. Quite honestly, I'm okay with making our chicken here mostly this color. If it keeps us from having to do quite so many layers of white on here, because this white can be a little streaky, it's a little thin, it is just craft paint, so it takes a few coats on some of these colors. And case in point with the blue, where we kind of needed to do two. But we're gonna do this tan color here. It's supposed to be a gray. Just to, oh my goodness, Mosies.
Hang on, Sneezy.
Oh my goodness, what happened?
You just got sneezy. Alright, Susan, do you need to go?
Too much grass out there? You got grass stuck?
Come on, Susie. Wanna go pee-pee?
Momos, get a drink.
Come on, Susie.
Come on, Zeus, let's go.
Alright, I'm not gonna make it.
Nope, too hot for him today.
Maybe.
Momo, get a drink, buddy. I think you should still have water in your bowl.
Yeah.
There. So we'll get that color. That did help a little bit there with our chicken guy. Not sure what color feet chicken have. Do chicken actually have yellow feet?
I have no idea, dear.
I know ducks do, with that yellowy orange color. Bless her. Bless her.
No.
Alright. So we'll get this guy popped into there. Oh, I need to stretch out my legs. My leggies don't like being scrunched up too much. It's my preferred. Oh man, these chicken feet are terrible. They look way too big for this chicken. Stencil, what did you do to me? Alright, I'm just grabbing a little bit of our gray here. Just to kind of start laying in a little bit of shadow work, maybe, for our feathers. Just a little bit. And we'll come back in with our white here. Soon enough. So I'm wiping a lot of this gray off our brush here. I am gonna rinse this. Alright, so I'm gonna come back into our white. And I'm not really expecting the white to cover very much, which is why I'm just kind of pulling off some of the excess and just kind of coming back in and seeing what decides to blend together here. Alright. So chicken guy's coming together a bit. Alright. So we'll get there slowly but surely on the chicken. Okay. So we've got a little bit of our gray shining through here, which is what we wanted. I definitely wanted some different tones in here. Still wiping a little bit of our white paint off as we go. like off the brush there, just so it didn't take over, you know. I wanted some different streaks of color in there. Okay, so I'm gonna rinse our brush. And we're gonna dry that guy. Now, here's a question. Do I have this color out? No, I don't. Okay. I mean, we could use that dark brown, red color, but it's not the right color. It's just not. Grabbed myself a drink and then forgot to open it. That's helpful. Can't get the bottle of paint open. I'm not going to put this color on the palette because I need so very little of it. That seems silly. Alright. Looking a little more chicken-like. Poultry-esque. Alright. And wait, is this the right? No, I want this one. Who is this? No, bright yellow. We want the bright yellow. I am gonna put the bright yellow down on our plate though, because we're gonna need it. Probably won't need anywhere near that amount, but that's what we're gonna go with. So I'm not really sure if chicken feet are yellow-ish or not. So we've just kind of thrown all of the colors at it here. I'm sure I'm gonna lose some of our shape when I go to outline it. So I'm just kind of trying to do a quick pass here. And what bit of gray shines through, then okay. Then it's gonna shine through. We'll see how it turns out. It'll probably be terrible, but we're kind of just going with it. I haven't put the eye in yet because I'm just going to do a dot of black on the eye. Just simple eye guy. Okay. Now. Tell you what. Instead of jumping in with the white on our eggies, I think it's going to be a heck of a lot less trouble if we dive in with the vanilla cream and then add the white on top of it. Just cause, you know, after seeing how streaky our just white was. I think it will be better to potentially just do 2 steps instead of 30 coats of white, which may or may not be an exaggeration. Alright, so these guys got really small. I don't think they got small. I think I drew them small for some reason. So I didn't cut off the edges around them all that much. And the fun thing about these guys is that we don't have to have their shape completely uniform, right? Because it's gonna spread out. As it cooks. Like, it'll be similar to its friends here, but at the same time, that was a loud motorbike. Sorry, I have to have the microphone amplified a little bit because I'm not good at projecting, and when I'm projecting I feel like I'm shouting. And my voice just doesn't like it. You think it's raspy now? Alright, so we'll get this guy popped into here. I'm probably gonna have to wait for pass 1 to dry. Just kind of angering to me, because I'm like, no, I just want to come back in on the same set. Just start dropping the white in, but another part of me knows I will just make a mess doing that. And my impatient ass knows what it needs to do. It just doesn't want to do it. We got a little bit more editing done. We both did at some point this week. Not a whole lot, because we've been busy. Life just doesn't want to slow down for a second. But I'm under 2 hours to go on the 4th live stream from our last needle felting. Oh, I still have to gesso those dowel rods. The odds of me remembering to do that tonight, pretty slim. I don't think I'm gonna need it tomorrow though. Like, I feel like we still have like 3 full sessions to go, at least. So if we have to gesso it on stream, we have to gesso it on stream, but we will see. If that happens. I don't think it will. It definitely won't be tomorrow. Right? Because we're still definitely working on grass. I believe. Oh no, I think we were still working on dirt. I don't know where we left off last week. We might have just finished the dirt. Quite possibly. I mean, I could just pick it up and look, but I've been very fumble-handed lately, so I don't want to drop it on the paint. That would just not be a fantastic thing. Because this paint never seems to stick to fabric when I want it to. Or at least not very well. But then there's other times where I'm like wiping paintbrushes off on it and, oh yeah, this will wash out. Nope. Husband and I actually got really hard to get uniques last night by happenstance, and we both needed the one and he really wanted the other one, so we were gonna trade, and then realized they were account bound. I'm like, no! That's not fair. There was much sadness all the way around. But I tucked the one I got away. Though I'm not sure, I don't know if that loot vanishes or if it just goes over to the Eternal Realm.
Which loot?
The stuff in our stash.
Like when season ends?
Yeah.
It goes over to Eternal.
So we're almost done doing pass 1 on our eggies. And we have to come back with our white. And then our yellow. And then we'll be able to be ready for outlining. We still have to paint our sign in the middle. And our little separating dividers. So I don't know if that is something we are going to get to today. Next week might be either a shorter stream, finishing up this guy, or it might be finishing up this guy and plotting out a new painting project. Could be either. I haven't fully decided yet. Does sort of depend on how long it takes us to finish up this guy. But we've got quite a bit of outlining to do on this one. So I'm not so certain that he would be getting finished up here. Considering we still have to do pass number 2 on our egg friends here. Those guys ran together a little bit there by accident. So, what's everybody's plans for this summer? Anybody doing anything exciting? For the summer, we don't really have any plans. There was already a tropical storm named, so I'm a little nervous about how the rest of the season's gonna go, because we are traveling during hurricane season. To a hurricane area. It's not like peak season, but it's like on the back end of middle. This hurricane season technically doesn't end until November. And they have had some doozies in September before. We just kind of have to keep our fingers crossed here. Alright. Let's go ahead and then rinse that out. It doesn't look half bad. He's not popped. He's not popping yet. He hasn't got his standout treatment yet. Though I will say, looking at that wing, he looks kind of see-through, doesn't he? Like, it looks like the blue background. Instead of the gray. It's a little better. Potentially. Okay. This white is being kind of thick here. But I think this will probably work to our advantage. having done that vanilla cream down first. Because now even if some of the cream is shining through, it won't really be a problem, right? So it'll just look like a color variation. Alright. I'm not sure I'm going to have to put more white down on the palette. That I don't know just yet. That kind of depends on a few different things. Sorry, I had to adjust how I was sitting. My back was not happy there. I was getting all sorts of clenchy and tingly. The joys of scoliosis, no, not really. It's not fun. We're not supposed to even really have much of a chance of rain until Wednesday. Kind of surprising with how humid it's been. It's not normally this humid here. Unless all those years that we've been here previously were the abnormal, where it was much drier, feeling hot. I'm not sure now. But the humidity here is what feels like the anomaly for it to be going on quite so long. But I guess we'll see what Wednesday brings. It says morning thunderstorms. So I guess we can't put our cardboard recycling out this week. Depends on what they mean. Well, no, I guess either way we can't. Because I don't know what time they're going to pick up. And they're very adamant about no wet paper or cardboard. Probably because it's a bitch to get out of the trucks and it's heavy. You know, fair enough on that. It just seems like whenever we get a bunch of storms, or even just rain, it seems to always rain the majority of the time on recycling night or morning. I'm like, guys, I really need to put cardboard out. I guess we can go one more week without putting the cardboard out. Don't really think I have another container I can put it in, though. Sometimes, once in a while, it depends on who it is. Sometimes they will come up and take the cardboard recycling off of our front porch. Sometimes. Because there's been a couple times where we forgot to put it up on the curb, and they have actually gone and grabbed it for us. Like, there's still a bit of white paint here, but it's pretty thick. So I might need to put another drop out. Just so I'm not constantly fighting this. Because it sucks to be fighting your supplies, you know? So that's not so fun. Okay. This bottle is very hard to squeeze. So I'm not sure if that means that it's starting to get too thick, or if that bottle just, whatever it was constructed out of, it's just not real happy at getting squeezed, or my hand strength is just non-existent today. That is also a very distinct possibility. Could very well just be me. So I'm sitting here trying to think of when we're gonna have the time to oil paint again, and I don't know. Possibly not till Monday night or Tuesday. Kinda depends. I've got a couple things around the house that need doing badly. I need to break down and finally shampoo this rug. Keep saying I need to do it. Just haven't gotten around to doing it. I don't think I can really put it off any longer. And that I have to do later in the day. Uh-oh. Phone call. My goodness. Alright, hang on, guys. Never mind. It was spam. So I have to do the rug later in the day so my mom's not traipsing over the wet rug and slipping in the kitchen. So that might be what I'm doing Monday night. Depends on how much energy I have Monday night. Oh, and if it's gonna interfere with the husband. I don't think it will. I think I can get it done in between when he could potentially, while he's waiting for Tyler and Dan to be ready to do something if they do something this week. I think I can get it done between dinner getting wrapped up and dishes getting done. And him gaming with them if they do it later at night again. I'm going to try to get some more editing done this week as well. And we need to get some work done in Diablo 4 if we want to complete this season before it ends. So I think we've figured out the two characters between the two of us. We can get it done, paired up. Potentially. I think we just need to get some more masterworking materials. In order to make that happen. So I've got all my gear on that specific character masterworked up to 4. And one piece, I think, up to 6. And I think we only have to do one more thing to complete the season. We haven't tried it with this set of characters yet. Husband still has some glyphs he has to get leveled too. I don't think we've finished that just yet. do want to try to do a... No, I think I did try to do a solo on that character. Now that I think about it, so never mind. I don't think we tried a duo using that character, though. We're so close to being able to finish the season. It was so frustrating when we got our asses handed to us when we tried it. Like, we didn't even make a dent in the final, one of the final bosses we needed. They just kind of laughed at us. Almost done with our eggy pass on the white, and then we just need to come back in with our yellow. And just kind of dot it up. I would dig out the dotting tools for this, but paint's not quite the right consistency. I don't know if I want to go to all that trouble for just putting the dots on these. Okay. Let's go ahead and rinse that guy real good. Let's see, I don't think I got all of it out of there. Like the tip of the base of the brush looks really white still. I guess that's gonna have to do. Okay. Time for our yellow. At least this doesn't have to be super precise. Can have a little bit of variety to the shape of it. This paint could stand to be a little bit thinner though. teeny bit thinner would probably be oh so helpful. But I don't have enough room on this lid to water this guy down just yet. I haven't decided how I'm sealing this one yet. I don't know if I'm going to use the brush sealer or if I'm going to use spray. I kind of want to use spray on this one. But I think brush might be less of a hassle. I mean, it'll be a hassle in its own way. But with as windy as it's been and as buggy as it's been outside, I'm liable to get a bug land on it and stick to it. Or that younger cat that's hanging around outside might try to stand on it. We don't want that. That would not be good at all. So I do have this guy tilted up at the moment. It's just making it a little bit easier to get the paint off of this brush. But we can see our little eggy yolks coming to life here. I almost fucked that up royally. That brush wanted to slide right off of there. And that would have been all sorts of sadness. Alright. As it is, I think I might need to grab the other lid I've got pulled out here so we can do our black here. I just don't have enough. Well, it really burns me to have to pull out another palette that I'm gonna have to sit around letting dry when we're done. So let's see if we can make this work. Alright. I mean, we could try to... Well, no, let's do our outline first. Okay. I need our little tiny... Nope, I need you. Come here. You're very difficult to grab, my friend. Okay. So I'm just gonna grab some water here. So we can get a good consistency mixed together. So probably take a few minutes here. We need a decent amount of this. It's pretty ready to go. Let's see how far that gets us. I'm probably gonna have to mix more than likely. Okay, where did we start? We started over here. So again, we've got this brush that's a little bit stiffer. So our lines are probably going to be a little crazy. They might be a little over our shape. Might be a little extra exaggerated at times. As this brush and I are still kind of learning how to properly work with one another. Which sounds silly. But some brushes can have a slight learning curve to them, depending on thickness of paint or whatever thickness of the medium that you are using. And trying to figure out, loud pickup truck going by, sorry about that. Trying to figure out the consistent hand pressure. Hand pressure for me is always a struggle. So a lot of times my lines will be a little wacky. We try. We definitely give it a good try. Outlining in pen is a little bit easier for me. But only slightly, as my hand tends to shake a bit. That's probably why I have a little bit of a harder time with oh, that was really thick. Are we too thin? Is that what this is? We might be too thin. We'll get that guy put around in there. Momo, it's only been like maybe another hour, buddy. It's not time yet. You have to give me a few more minutes. Okay? A few more minutes. Can I at least get this side of Eggy's outlined? Can you give me that, my guy? Probably not. Because it's Momo. Okay, ironically, the thicker version of this seems to work better. Alright, Momo's being insistent. I will be right back. It'll be a good time to get up and stretch, get a drink, Go potty yourselves, all that good stuff. I'm gonna run an ad while we're gone. The ad will probably be done before we get back though. Okay, we're back. Sorry. Pepper had potty. And when Pepper's got a potty. Pepper's got a potty. I'm actually getting more consistent line pressure. With the thicker paint. Color me surprised. Okay. Alright. I am so hungry. Cannot wait for dinner time. When am I not hungry though? It does happen. Although I was a little hungry before I went to bed last night. And all I had was an Italian ice. I probably should have had something a little more substantial. I just didn't feel like getting something a little more substantial. Because, here's the kicker. I was afraid that I would have woken the dragon that is Momo. And then I would have had to deal with him whining at me for something he could not have in the slightest. He had already been giving me a bunch of shit earlier in the night about something, and I don't know what his deal was. We never did figure it out. I think he was mad because he hasn't been able to go across the street lately because we've been too afraid of the female cat trying to follow him. I don't really see her very much during the day. But traffic's so heavy during the day, we haven't tried to take the dogs across. But I have a feeling she's gonna know. And just kind of appear. Even if there's no sign of her. She's gonna know we took the doggos across. She's hiding in the overgrowth in the one part of our yard from the heat lately. At least that's where her new friend has been coming from, and I'm pretty sure she's in there with him. And I don't know where the new friend came from. So I don't know if new friend even knows how to cross the street. So we're not entirely sure where she came from either. But her idea of dealing with our car in the driveway as we're trying to drive through the backyard to turn around because of how our driveway is shaped is to lay down and not move. And I'm like, no ma'am. You're supposed to be afraid of the car, and this is not it. So we really don't want to risk her trying to follow the dogs across the street anymore. So we haven't been taking them across. And they've been starting to get a little bit wise to us and tired of our shit about them not going across. Sorry I'm holding it at this angle, but it's working for me. Sort of. So we're gonna keep on going with it. That's tiny. Oh goodness, that was tough there. All right. I'm trying to get this paint thickened back up a little bit, since the thicker version has been working out a bit better. That is from the paint bristles being a little bit separated. see about getting this guy. There's like, it's a very specific consistency where it needs to be thicker than the thin I've got down here, but slightly, just a touch of water than the fresh out of the bottle stuff. Just trying to get this back into some sort of a point. Is somebody licking? Okay, I couldn't tell if what I was hearing was in the background of what I was listening to, or if it was a doggo doing something. Okay. That's a little thick. Potentially. Okay. It just looks a little too much. It looks like there's a little too much paint on it than there probably is. And it's going to be a lot more beneficial to just take a minute and either wipe some of it off or test it to get better idea of where our thicknesses lie at the moment. one's bristles are suddenly starting to like flay apart as we are going here. Kind of looks like there might be a piece of fuzz in there. Not certain though. It might just be how they're trying to separate. Or it could just be a clump of paint stuck in there. We still have to finish our dividers here. Well, first and foremost, we need to finish our eggies, I guess. We have not finished those up yet. So that is what we're gonna try to get done here. Oh, that guy's really thick there. All in the brush angles. And brush pressure. Alright, we're almost done. We've just got a few more eggy friends to go here. Not terribly many. We're almost there. On this part at least. believe we only have one more eggy friend here. Okay. Should be all of our eggies. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to set that guy aside. So is our white paint still? Are we still usable here? Maybe. Oh, you know what? Let's put a pin in that color. Actually, I'm gonna put a pin in this brush. Do I have a different? Do I have a slightly smaller guy? I probably don't. I need some more of our vanilla cream because that worked out well. Base coating in this guy. Or at least it seems to. I mean, if I wasn't worried about keeping that other brush super nice for our fine detail, I would just use that one. However, that is the thinnest functioning well enough for what I need it to do brush that I have at the moment. I have another one, but the point's getting a little use worn, and I don't think it's anything that liquid starch is going to fix. Wow, I'm so bad at filling in the lines here. That's pretty bad. Do I have a flat? I do, but I don't know if that's gonna do it. I mean, for detail brushes, These brushes are pretty chunky. Like, I need detail. Like, of course, they like advertise the photos painting miniatures, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I need, detail. And then I get them in front of me, I'm like, these are not detail. I mean, they're small. But they are not as fine as I was hoping them to be. Which is always a risk that you're gonna take getting brushes sight unseen. Like ordering them. It's always gonna be an issue. There we go. I was like, what is on our corn? No. Did not just fuck up our bacon. I think I fixed it. I'm like, why does my hand feel tacky? And I'm just like plugging along, put my hand into everything. Pretty much. Pretty typically par for the course for me. So am I surprised? Fuck no. Am I mad that I just did it? Hell yes. Alright. Did not quite think we were gonna get this far today. Kind of expected Mr. Chicken there. Mrs. Chicken to take up the majority of our day here. Now, if I wasn't afraid of our tape pulling what we've done off, I would have just taped the edges of our line here. But in the back of my mind, I was like, I don't know about that. Sometimes it's fine. Other times, not so much. It kind of depends on your tape. If we had something under where the tape was going to be that wasn't quite so detailed, I'd be a little more like, ah, fuck it. But all of these, real bitch to try to fix if it came to it. I'll be perfectly honest, this brush could be a little bit stiffer. I swear I have another one. It's in our vase. It could very potentially be in the brush vase. That is for certain. Okay. Alright. Now, hopefully we don't... We're gonna end up losing some of this. That is just a fact. So, there is no way that I am going to paint around these letters. We will just figure it out. We might just attempt to freehand the letters back in. Because I could go and try to find the stencil, but I can't guarantee that it's not going to bleed under. I have not tried to do paint directly on those stencils yet. And I'd rather not fuck around when we are this close to finishing this guy. It doesn't seem like the wisest of decisions. Grab our bucket here. Like, this guy's pretty small. think he might be a little bit softer. He's been around for a while. I had to tape him back together. But that feels a little too thick. Let's go with that. Might be a little bit better. That's why I stopped not wanting, or that's why I wanted to stop using this one. There is a tiny bit of hair that doesn't want to cooperate here. Let's see if I got it. Sometimes you can do the brush surgeries. And it can work out fairly well. Other times, you can do the brush surgeries and it just gets worse. And then you kind of hit a point of no return, where suddenly you now have a scrubby brush for detail, or for like trees and stuff, that you didn't realize you needed, but you need one now because you'll be damned if you throw that paintbrush out. Just me? Probably. But I know I can't be the only one ever. To go past the point of no return and trying to salvage a paintbrush gone wrong. This is a very soft brush. It was a liner at one point. Many moons ago. made this brush? I have no idea. American Painter, maybe? It is so faded. Like, the paint is gone from where the text was, but the text seems to be embossed. Okay. So that cream underneath just helps the amount of coats of white that we would potentially need here. And I knew, even though we had drawn this out with a ruler, and it was nice and crisp, but it was not going to stay that way. Sometimes I do wonder why I bother. But at least it started out. Fairly straight. That was a very loud pickup truck today. All the traffic seems very loud today at times. Got two more stripes to get painted white here. And then we just have to outline. And then get our text back into place. And we are definitely getting there. We're getting somewhere. Where exactly are we getting? I'm not certain. eventually to Hot Messville. Although we kind of live in Hot Messville, so are we just driving around the town? Maybe. May very well be. Gonna do one more light pass through there with the white. Okay. Clean this guy up. Back into the bucket. See how much paint we can get. I'm ready here. I think we might need a little bit more than that though. Alright. Are we ready? So not really, but here goes. Alright. A little bit more water there, I think. Can't hurt. Well, I mean it could, but I think for where we are currently sitting, we are okay. With the consistency. That we currently have. Okay, there's one side. A little bit more water there. We'll start to bring this guy on down. As best as we can. Kind of already resigned myself to the fact that it's gonna be a little wobbly. And that's just all there is to it. Like right there, we're a little wobbly. That could have been a lot worse there though, because my hand twitched. It was holding the canvas and the paintbrush almost slid. In a potentially disastrous way. There. A little bit more paint there. I'm like super zoomed in so you can't see the palette now. But we don't really need to see the palette. I'm not like mixing magic colors here. This is just straight black that I am occasionally adding a little bit of water to. When it feels like it's a little too thick. Alright, we're almost done. Just a little bit further to go. And this guy's been an interesting journey, to say the least. So we have this little sliver. Alright, and now for our lettering, which is going to be a hot mess. So let's see. We have an F. Right there. H. Here. So farm is F A R M F R E S H F R E There we go, we didn't totally fuck it up. The letters are a little off shaped, but that's not so bad. For me being at the wheel, not too bad at all. So we're all done, Bear Bear.
Hmm?
We're all done.
What?
Our painting.
Oh, okay.
Come and give the horrible critique that I know is burning deep within you about how bad our cow looks.
Actually, not too bad. It's identifiably a cow. That's what matters. Everything else is artistic choice.
Our chicken didn't come out half bad either. But, yeah, so I'm going to have to seal this one off stream because it's just going to be easier. And it's still too wet to even attempt to seal yet. That needs to dry for a little bit longer. So that will be an adventure for another day. I don't know what we're doing next week yet. I have an idea of something. Maybe. But I'm not certain yet. We might just do a Bob Ross squash. I don't know. I have to think about it. We will see how that all goes. So I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day. Like I said before, I don't know if we'll be doing Diablo tonight yet. So make sure that you have your notifications turned on for here. Or, you know, just pop back in around 7 or so Central and see what we're up to. Like I said, it's not determined yet tonight. It has to really depend on how we're both feeling after dinner. We might just do something off stream. So, don't forget to follow the link to all the socially things down below, as that will take you to the Twitter X hot dumpster fire that is over there, the Instagram, the Ko-fi that's still up, and the YouTube channel. Sometimes we have some projects that pop up there that haven't been streamed. It's a lot of stream archive, but every so often you'll come across some non-streamed stuff over there. I will see everybody tomorrow for needle felting for sure. So you all have a great rest of your day if I don't see you. Enjoy your weekend, and until next time.